How risky is it to renew my work visa in 2026? That's probably the most common question I'm hearing right now from high-skilled professionals. Some people are worried about delays. Others are worried about travel, higher scrutiny, or getting stuck in administrative processing, especially with all the news about people from India having their visa appointments canceled and postponed for months down the road. Now, here's the truth. Renewing a high-skilled visa in 2026 is not automatically risky, but how and when you do it matters a lot, more than most people realize. In this video, I want to walk you through where the real risks actually are, what's changing and what isn't in 2026, and how to approach a renewal strategically instead of reactively. Let's start with a distinction that clears up a lot of unnecessary fear. A visa is the foil on your passport. It's what allows you to enter the US. Your status is what allows you to remain and work in the US. You can actually have valid status without having a valid visa on your passport. And this is where so many people get confused. Renewing a visa generally means traveling abroad, going to a US consulate. Extending your status usually means filing with USCIS and staying inside of the United States. So here's the key framing I want you to remember. Most of the risks people worry about are tied to travel, not maintaining lawful status. Now let's talk about what's really changing without panic or speculation. Here's what we're seeing. Increased scrutiny on documentation, compliance, and security vetting. Backlogs and appointment delays at high volume consulates like in India or China. Higher fees for certain extensions and filings. More frequent use of administrative processing. Travel bans for nationals of certain countries. What we're not seeing is the US closing its doors completely to high-skilled professionals, but it's definitely making it a lot harder. So the realistic takeaway is this: the system still works, but the margin of error is smaller, which means preparation and timing matter more than ever. Renewing a high-skill visa becomes riskier in certain situations. Risk tends to be higher if you must travel abroad to renew at a busy consulate, your employment history has questionable gaps, or required an amendment that was never filed. Your role has evolved beyond what was originally approved. You're planning at the last minute, close to expiration. One thing I want to clarify here is administrative processing. Administrative processing is not a denial, but it can last weeks or sometimes months. It's often unpredictable and it's very, very difficult to expedite. And this is where people often get stuck, not because they did something wrong, but because they didn't plan for uncertainty. Renewing abroad versus extending inside of the United States is one of the most important strategic decisions you can make. Renewing abroad can be faster in some cases, but exposes you to consular discretion and creates travel-related risks. Extending status inside of the United States is generally more controlled. It avoids travel and consular uncertainty, can be more expensive, requires long periods of waiting for a decision. So the key point here is there's no universal right answer. The safest option depends on your specific timeline, your status, and your long-term goals. This is one of the most common issues I review with clients looking to file NIWs or EB-1A petitions during a free case evaluation. We're not looking at just whether renewal is possible, but we're looking at how to do it with the least amount of risk based on current status, your travel needs, and your long-term plans. If you're unsure which path makes sense for you while you prepare your petition, that's exactly what these evaluations are designed for. You can request one using the link in the description right below. If there's one piece of advice I want you to take away from this video is this: plan early. Ideally, you should be thinking about renewal strategy 6 months in advance, sometimes even earlier. And that means gathering employment verification, collecting pay stubs, organizing prior approval notices, avoiding unnecessary travel close to expiration, and understanding one hard truth about immigration. Immigration works on its timeline, not yours. You don't fit immigration into your schedule. Plan your life around immigration timelines. Renewing a high-skill visa in 2026 doesn't have to be stressful, but it does require planning, clarity, and strategy. When people run into problems, it's usually not because the system changed overnight, but because they waited too long or didn't fully understand their options. If you're also pursuing an EB-1A or an EB-2 national interest waiver, I recommend watching my next video called What Happens If Your O-1 or H-1B Expires While You're Applying for an EB-1A or an NIW. I'll see you in the next one.